So as you settle in your practice today, go ahead and close your eyes. And take a nice deep breath in. Slowly let it go. And then do that twice more. Deep breath in. Slow exhale. And then one more time. Deep breath in. And slow exhale. Allow your body to take over your breath. And then take the next several breaths to check in today. Noticing how your body feels this morning. Notice your energy. Notice your breath. Notice your heart rate. And finally, notice your mind. If your thoughts are busy today, then take this time to acknowledge those thoughts. And then set them aside. Give your mind permission to be on your mat and focus on your body, on your movement, and on your baby. And with that, bring your attention to your baby. And you could slide your hand or a hand to your belly at this time, just to check in. First, acknowledging how much your body is doing to support this little one. As you move along your pregnancy, your belly grows quicker and quicker. It's easier to see. But if you're earlier in your pregnancy and you're not seeing those changes quite as quickly on the outside, know that each day that little one's doing something different. Growing, changing. Take a moment to acknowledge that growth, that change that your body has supported. Your baby right now is safe and at peace, getting everything he or she needs to grow. And now imagine what they look like. Their tiny toes, their little hands, their little fingers, their eyes, nose, and mouth. Whether they have little rolls or not. And whether they have a full head of hair or not. Whether they'll look more like you or like your partner. Or some awesome combination of the two. Imagine what their personality might be like. Are they silly, wiggly, energetic, quiet, introverted or extroverted, unique? Moving into that adventure of motherhood, where things will be fun and crazy. Sometimes they'll be hard. And sometimes they'll bring so much joy, it brings tears to your eyes, or laughter. Notice now if they are comfortable in sleeping or wiggling around. They've decided it's exercise time or stretch time. And if you can feel where they're sitting in your body, in your ribs or deep in your pelvis, just sit with that space, that confirmation that they're there. And then bring yourself or your attention back to your body. If your hands are on your belly and you'd like to release them to let go of your shoulders, go ahead and do that. And begin to roll your shoulders, lift up, out, and around, or up, back, and around. Let your eyes flutter open if you would like to bring some light back into them. And I'll say that again in a few minutes if you want to keep them closed. And then let your shoulders just rest down, placing your shoulder blades on your rib cage. Drop your chin to your chest. Breathe into your back, into the top of your neck. Use an inhale to lift your chin back up so it's parallel to the floor. And then exhale, turn your head to the right. Deep breath. Exhale. Inhale back to center. And exhale to the left. Deep breath. Exhale, come back to center. Begin to move some more. So let's roll again through those shoulders. If you haven't opened your eyes already, go ahead and open them. Take a moment to let the light come in and your eyes readjust. And then if you're seated, uncross your legs if they're crossed and switch to the other side, or bring your feet out in front so that you can move your knees, you can move through your spine, and let this be organic movement. So anything that would feel good to you today. And then from here, we'll take a deep breath, reach your arms over your head. And then as you exhale, take your time, cross your legs if they were not crossed, roll over to hands and knees. And as you come to hands and knees, let your knees be underneath your hips. Your wrists, shoulders, elbows in alignment. And don't forget, if your wrists are starting to feel a little cranky due to the extra fluid in your body, that you can always put that blanket underneath your wrist to give yourself a little bit more space. And then from here, let's begin to rock baby with a cat and cow. So inhale, arch your back slightly if that still feels okay. If not, keep your back at neutral. As you exhale, round your back, contract your belly and lift your pelvic floor to give baby a hug. Inhale, rock down, moving into that flat back or your cow back. Exhale, round. One more time. And then find neutral. Take a breath in to send your right leg back behind you. Tuck your toes under and press into your heel. Lift up through your belly to support your back. So you're giving baby a hug, and it's about 60% effort. So you could do more if I asked you to, but it's an active effort. Press through your right heel, stretch through your calf. And then let's move forwards and backwards. So as you inhale, you're going to shift your weight forwards towards the front of your mat, stretching deeper through the bottom of your foot. As you exhale, press through your right heel, stretch more through your calf. I don't want you to bounce here. I want you to take your time. So shift forward, take your time forward, exhale, shift back. One more, shift forward, and shift back. And then come back into neutral. So wrists, shoulders, elbows in alignment again. That left knee is directly under your hip. Pause and breathe. Use the exhale to slide your right foot to the outside of your left. And then look over your left shoulder for your foot. Breathe into the side of your body. Take another breath here. And then inhale, slide the foot back to center. Drop your right knee down. Inhale, cow back or flat back. Exhale, round, hug baby, lift up through your pelvic floor into cat. And then find neutral again. Lift up through your belly at that 60% contraction, that 60% hug, and send your left leg out behind you. Press into your heel. Stretch through your calf, through your foot. Continue to hold that belly contraction, taking breaks anytime you need to. And then inhale, slide forward, stretching more through the bottom of your foot. So your toes are tucked under, your arches getting that stretch. As you exhale, press back through your heel, stretching more through your calf and the back of your leg. Twice more, shift forward. Shift back. Shift forward. Shift back. And then come back to neutral. Slide that left leg now the outside of your right. Look over your right shoulder for your foot. Breathe down the left side of your body. One more deep breath in. Use the exhale to slide your left foot back and then drop your knee back down. Open your knees wide. Take a big deep breath in and then exhale, press back into that wide knee child's pose. So this is one of those places, depending on how far along you are in your pregnancy, you may need, and where your baby's sitting, you may need wider knees and you may need to stay up a little taller. You're also welcome to continue to melt down towards your mat, coming to your elbows, letting your forehead rest down, or coming up to bring your hands just under your chin, so to support your chin. And this is a really great option here for child's pose if you are dealing with heartburn. So keeping your head above your heart or really above your belly. Let's take one more deep breath. Exhale. And then let your hands find the mat if they're not there already. Shift forward to hands and knees, and then take your time to come up to standing. So you may do that with your right foot coming forward. If you need to grab that right foot with your right hand, then do so. Bring your hand to your leg. Tuck your left toe under. Lift up through your pelvic floor. Contract through your belly. Step forward and come up to stand. And from here, we'll rock side to side through our hips. So pausing a moment there, just to start to warm up. Add a little bit more blood flow, go forwards and backwards. So when we go forwards and backwards, it could be shifting, but it also could be tucking your pelvis under and then extending back, so arching and rounding your back, but just in a different way, similar to cat-cow. And we'll come back to center. I'm going to step to the end of my mat so you can see me, so you should do the same. Come onto the back of your mat. We're going to lift our left leg to start, so I'm close to a wall. If you are too, feel free to use the wall or a chair for support. Lift your left leg up. Breathe in, lift up through your pelvic floor, contract through your belly, give your baby a hug. Extend your left leg, stretch your foot, bend your knee, and we'll do that twice more. Extend, good, and bend your knee. One more time, extend, but let this extension allow you to shift forward, land into a lunge. So this could be wider or narrower, both in the width of your lunge. So if you need help with balance, you could step your feet a little bit wider. It also could be wider between your feet if you want more stretch in that right hip flexor. If you want a little bit less or you're having trouble with balance, I would recommend a smaller stance. Then from here, we're going to bend our right knee, tuck your pelvis under, and then extend back. So again, it's kind of like we're rocking baby. So forwards and backwards. 2 more times. Forwards, backwards, forwards. And then when you go back this time, find neutral through your pelvis. Press through your right heel and stretch through that right leg. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, both legs come up tall. So straight right and left leg. Fold forward at your hip crease. Let this be a tiny fold. And again, if you're wiggling around due to balance, hold onto a chair or the wall, or step your feet wider apart across your mat. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, fold down again. Take 2 deep breaths here. And then 1 more. As you exhale, come up nice and tall. And then you're going to step your right foot forward. So for you guys, you're going to step that foot forward. If you have that wall, put your finger out across your left ankle over your knee. And then we're going to come into a standing pigeon, so sitting down. I'm going to turn so you can see me. So facing you, that ankle crosses over, and you're just going to come down to sit. Stretching through your hip. And as you do this, you're still lifting up through your pelvic floor, contracting through your abs to give baby a hug and support your back. And this is really a nice stretch standing. If you've been sitting at your desk for a bit and you're just really kind of feeling tight through your hips, then you can come up, use your desk or the chair that you're sitting in for support, hold on to it. And then from here, we're going to come in and out a couple times. So inhale, lift. Exhale, sit. Inhale, lift. Good. Exhale, sit. 1 more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sit. And then inhale, stand tall. As you exhale, slowly release that leg down and wiggle out through your hips. Good work. I'm going to step back to the back of my mat. You stay right where you are. This time starting on your right leg. Lift your right leg. Flex your foot. And then on an inhale, extend your leg. Exhale, bend your knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. And then inhale, extend. But exhale, step forward. Coming into that small lunge or bigger lunge, you choose. Then we're going to roll again, lifting up through our foot, press back through your left heel, find that lunge. Stretch. Breathe. Noticing if you need a different stance to support where you are right now. 1 more breath. Exhale. And then from here, let's tuck your pelvis under and then press back, starting to add that knee bend. So bending through your left knee and then extending. And then 1 more time, bend. Good, and extend. Press back through your left heel. Inhale, straighten both legs so they're equally straight. Thighs are contracted. And then exhale, fold forward from here. Breathe into this, noticing how your low back feels, and if you need more support, more contraction through your belly. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. And then inhale, come up nice and tall. Excellent. Exhale, fold down again. 2 deep breaths. And then inhale, come up nice and tall. So step forward, let your feet meet as we move into that standing pigeon on this side. The right leg's going to lift up, cross your ankle over your knee, or really sitting right on top of your thigh. Breathe in, exhale, sit down into that stretch. Hold and breathe. Hold on to a chair or wall if that's better. You always can walk off your mat and grab it. So I'm just turning to face you. Stay right where you are. Notice your knee in this position. You can flex your foot to support that. And then we're going to inhale, stand up nice and tall. Take your time, use the exhale to sink back down into that stretch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink down, okay. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink down, hold again, holding on to whatever you'd like to support this. Nice work. And then one more deep breath. Use the exhale to stand nice and tall. And then bring your foot down, wiggle that out. Step your feet a little wider, so we're going to go mats width apart if I'm still standing this way on my mat, mats width apart. And then take a deep breath in, lift up through your hands. As you exhale, hands come to heart center, bend your knees, sink down into your yogi squat. So this could be high or low. Hands could be on your thighs. Breathe in, exhale, lift up from your pelvic floor, contract through your belly. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, sink down. If you want to come down to your elbows, you can. Same thing. Breathe in, release through your belly, your pelvic floor. Exhale, contract, lift up, give baby a hug. And then inhale. Exhale, contract as you stand up tall. We're going to do one more, sinking deeper down and eventually moving down onto the floor. So if you need to grab your bolster so it's close by, I'm going to go ahead and put that right back behind me so I have it when I'm ready. Breathe in, and then exhale, sink down into your yogi squat, taking your time to get down. Pause and breathe before you sit, and then when you're ready, you can sit back on whatever you have, pillow, bolster, and pause here. Take another breath. Exhale. And then move your legs a little further out. Let's drop our knees to the right. So you can shift your feet to the side, let your knees drop. Press through your hands or through your fists. Lift up through your chest. Take 2 deep breaths, breathing into your hips. Good, and one more. And then come back to center. We'll switch to the other side. Drop your knees to the other side. Press through your fists or your hands. Lift up. 2 deep breaths. Good, and one more. Come back to center. Bring your feet together and let your knees fall out wide. So scoot back if you need to, like I did, because I was falling off my bolster and my blanket. Your knees are going to drop out. Pause here. Sit up nice and tall, so looking for that tall spine. Deep breath in. Exhale, contract pelvic floor. Give baby a hug. Good job. Inhale, release. And this time as you exhale, fold forward as your hip creases. Bring your hands down to the floor or down to your feet to support that. Take 2 more breaths. And then use your hands to walk up to your hips. You put your hands on the outsides of your knees, your thighs, and bring your feet back together.
So as you come seated, make sure you don't have a sway in the back, although baby's going to want to take you that way. So think about drawing baby in close to your spine, tucking that tailbone down. Now from here, just simply allow your arms to relax and your hands are resting on your legs here. And then take a full deep breath in, and as you exhale, just simply close your eyes. And just begin to focus in just on your breath. Simply flowing in and flowing out. Beginning to bring some centering, some focusing into the next realm of the video. And as you're here, take note of how your shoulders feel. Notice your upper back. Notice if you're holding on to any tension in your jaw, the muscles of the face. And then from here, just slowly allow the eyes to open. And with your eyes open, just allow your shoulders to lift up and to roll back. Just do this a couple of times. and then roll them forward. Notice if you hear any crunching like me. And then just come back to stillness as much as possible. Now we're going to move through some acupressure points. And with these acupressure points, there are two key ones that allow you to let go a little bit more, and also really kind of, a lot of people will use these to release some anxiety, some tension that you might be feeling. This is a great tool to use while you're in labor, or just maybe even anticipating the labor, which is awesome. So as you're sitting here, begin to find your clavicle, your collarbone, and just kind of trace your fingers along. And then begin to notice, as you do this, notice how that bone feels, and then notice the indentation underneath the bone. And then from here, to give you a guide, you've got your breastbone that's right in the middle. So basically where the clavicle meets in the middle. So what I want you to do is take about a half an inch to an inch away from the center, away from the breastbone, out to the sides underneath the clavicle. And then once you find that, you can take your peace fingers, you can even take 3 fingers, and then begin to just slowly tap. Now it's going to be, you have to find your happy medium, because with the tapping, you don't want it to be so light that you barely feel it, but you don't also want to slam your fingers into your body. So find that medium, we'll say Goldilocks. Find your happy place here where you feel it and you know that you're doing it, but it's not too forceful. So find your rhythm, and then close your eyes and focus in on your breath. So notice your tapping, and perhaps you speed it up a little bit. Again, this is your choice. If you like the rhythm that you had, just stick with it. And then slowly begin to slow that rhythm down. Even if you were at a slower rhythm before, just slowing the pace down. Almost until you are hardly tapping at all. Do 2 more. And then allow your hands to rest in your lap. Your elbows are bent. Your eyes can still be closed. Notice any sensations in the fingers, the hands, the arms, where you were tapping. Take a full breath in, and as you exhale, drop your chin down to your chest. From here, bring the head right back to center, and then slowly open the eyes. Now from here, we're going to find, usually this is a place where a lot of us hold on to tension. It's the SCM muscles that run along the neck. And a lot of times when we're hunching and holding up the world with our shoulders, those muscles are doing a lot of work. So from here, just kind of feel your way front of the ear, back of the ear, along the neck. And just kind of smooth it out from top to bottom. And then we're going to come back to the clavicle. That seems to be our go-to. So this time with the clavicle, you feel the bones. You make your way to the middle this time. So right where the clavicles meet, and then go an inch down onto where you're moving down into the breastbone. So go an inch down, and you actually might feel that bone protrude a little bit. You'll place one palm, it doesn't matter which one, on top of that place, and then you'll take the other palm and place it on the back of that other hand. Now, I always catch myself lifting my shoulders and creating tension in my arms. Just let it go. Now press into your hands, so you're pressing into your body, and then pull down a little bit so you feel maybe some stretching. Now as you do this, begin to slowly bring the chin up. Doesn't have to be far, but notice how the tissue feels. Notice how your neck feels. So again, you're pressing into the hands and pulling down a bit. Now with your chin kind of tilted up, begin to take your jawbone and bring it out a bit. Now release your jaw, allow your chin, your gaze to come back forward. Now let your arms go and slowly roll the shoulders down the back. This is just to give us a little bit of a break. And we'll come back to that spot. So maybe you want to switch up hands, maybe you don't. But find that place again on the breastbone. Place your palm, place the other hand on top. Gently press in a bit and then pull down. Relax your shoulders, relax your arms. And then we're going to bring, I'll be mirror image of you. We're going to bring the right ear over to the right shoulder. Just kind of chin slowly moves over to the side. Notice the side of the neck. Notice your breath. We don't want you to hold the breath. Notice your posture. Draw the belly in, nice and tall, hugging baby in. And then from here, with the head in the same direction, begin to lift the chin up a bit. Again, we're pressing in and pulling down into the palms. Taking your chin out, your jaw out. So you feel maybe some pulling in the side. Relax the jaw, the chin, bring the head down. And then slowly back to center. Relax your arms. Again, a little bit of a break. Roll the shoulders up and back, around, however you feel makes you more relaxed. And then we're going to come back to that place one more time. So palm back into the breastbone, other palm on top. Pressing in, pressing down. Relax your shoulders. So from here, before we move to the other side, just kind of play around and move your head around like a little swivel. And then come back to center. And then slowly moving to the other side. So bringing the head, turning it to the left this time. Notice if this side feels different. So keeping your head in this direction, begin to lift the chin up a bit. So keeping the mouth closed for now. And now let the lips part and bring the chin forward. Just sliding that jaw forward, that lower jaw. Relax through the jaw, the chin. Slowly with the head turned to the side, bring the head down a bit. And nice and slow, we come back to center. Relax your arms. Roll the shoulders. Roll them forward and back.
So let's continue. We'll stay seated. If you've noticed that your feet are falling asleep, remember you can always swap sides. So just flipping one foot to the other or lifting your knees up. And we'll just take a couple more times to let that acupressure settle. So sitting up nice and tall, breathe. Notice the sensations you're feeling right now. So is that release in your neck, in your chest, in your head? Take another breath. And then drop your chin to your chest. Breathe into the back of your neck. And then sit up nice and tall. Roll through your shoulders. And let's take one more hip stretch before we come down onto the mat. So bring your feet back up and we'll do the seated pigeon or figure four. Cross your right leg over your left. Flex your foot. Now in this position, you stay right where you are. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my back. So as we come into that figure four, I want you to also move through your hips. So you're going to arch and round and arch and round. One more time. Arch and round. Just moving in the space you have available today. Roll through your shoulders. Lift the right leg, set it back down. And then switch to the other side. Cross your ankle over your knee. Find that seated figure four. Sitting tall. And then from here again, arch and round. Arch and round. One more time. And then sit up nice and tall. Breathe into the place where you're feeling sensation. And now release your foot down. Give everything a little shake. And take your time to make your way into your rest place. So those places could be on your side, using your blanket, your towel as support for your head and your pillow for support for your knees. Or you can come into that inclined position. So putting the blanket or towel underneath your pillow, your bolster, hips come to the back and slowly roll down. Once you're here, find the right spot for your feet. Palms down or up. Hands can rest on your belly. If you're on your side, you might place one hand on your belly. And then allow yourself to just rest from here. So we'll take a couple deep breaths and then I'll have Celeste bring us out of this and we'll move into our essential oils. But as you rest and settle, notice your body again. Breathe. Relax. With each inhale, you feel expansion throughout your body. And with each exhale, just settle in.
So noticing the rise and the fall of each and every breath that is moving through you. Each inhalation bringing oxygen to you and the baby. And with each exhalation, you hug the baby in. You let stress and tension go. Noticing the natural rhythm of each and every breath that is moving through you. And simply taking note of how your body feels at this very moment. Scanning the body from the crown of the head, the muscles of the face, the neck, shoulders, the torso, the hips, legs, ankles and feet and toes. And not forgetting the arms, hands, and fingers. So simply observing the relaxation of your body, the relaxation of your breath. Now begin to invite a little movement into your fingers, into your toes. Allowing your breath to get a little deeper, slowly reawakening you and the baby. So if your knees are bent, maybe slowly dropping the knees from side to side a little, just to reawaken. And if you're propped on a pillow or bolster underneath you, slowly rolling yourself over onto your left side, just in a fetal position for now, as comfortable as you can get. And then being very mindful to take that top palm into the floor, the other palm into the floor, and very slowly hugging the baby in with the core, with your belly, bring yourself up to seated. So once you're here, just get in a seated position that feels comfortable to you. And then bringing the palms together at heart center, bringing those palms to the chest, and then pressing into the breastbone, noticing the rhythm of your breath, your heartbeat, bringing the chin down to the chest, pausing in a moment of gratitude. Gratitude for those you have in your life and those who will soon be present in your life that you can actually see. And let the beauty we love be what we do. Namaste. So as you sit here and kind of reawaken, I want to go over the essential oils. I have a 20-year-old, and I have been using essential oils before I was pregnant with her, so maybe 21 years or so, and I used them throughout my entire pregnancy, but I educated myself on what oils I should use, should not use, and so with that, I put down in your handout, and I actually attached that into the chat already. I put my favorite essential oils that I used were lavender, bergamot, and chamomile. Lavender and chamomile were like my real favorites. And you get to decide whatever it is you want. But with that, just know that I've attached a SAS Life blog article that I wrote in 2016. The same is true for this now. Nothing has changed from the safety of the essential oils for pregnancy, what you shouldn't use. Also, knowing that bergamot is more of a citrus type of oil, and there's some phototoxicity or sun sensitivity involved with that. That's in the article. I'm not going to go over that right now. But also, there's a link in your handout for a patch test. And the methods of use, I tried to include everything. No ingestion. We don't do any ingestion of essential oils, at least I don't. But inhalation is a method through diffusers, personal inhalers, and I just happen to have one here. It looks like a, I don't know who's old enough to remember this. The Vicks Vapor Rub, or Vicks, had a little device that you screw the lid off and you can breathe in. So this is actually a device kind of like that, and the end comes off and there's a wick inside that you could put essential oils on. This is great if you've got a lot of that head congestion that a lot of expectant moms have, and it's great during pollen season, which I've used this quite a bit. I've used eucalyptus. I've also used peppermint in this because those are very, they open up the bronchioles, open up your sinuses. Love that. So let's see, diffuser, personal inhaler, there's steam inhalation. I will use lavender in the bath, like in the shower, and add it to my natural soap that I use. Also, again, if you're feeling stuffy, this is great to use a eucalyptus in the shower, a couple of drops. Just make sure you put it in a washcloth, breathe it in, let the steam of the hot water come on, and you can breathe it in. There's topical application, lotions, massage oil, bath oil. I have included on the back, which is very handy, a dilution chart and conversions, because that's very important when you're mixing things. And so other methods are room sprays. I always say car and hand sanitizers because I have those in the side pocket of my door. You can use essential oils with, you can make your own and have hand sanitizer with the essential oil that smells really good after you pump gas. It's nice to have that good fresh smell. And also with today's world, I'm using that all the time if I have to go out to the grocery store along with my mask and everything else. So on the handout, I've got, things to take note of when you're using essential oils, like make sure there's a scientific name. If there's a carrier oil in it, it should have it on the label. We use dark glass to store it in to keep it fresh and free from light. And so these really cool amber bottles are awesome, and I label those. I put Epsom salt in those with sometimes some baking soda and some essential oil as a bath salt. Little spray bottles. This is a cobalt blue. And then they make all sorts of things. Dark green. You can, when you're mixing up, you can use pipettes to get the right conversion. And then there are roller balls too that you can use. You can create your own. So the handout tells you with the dilution in the chart, like if you're using lavender, how much carrier oil you should use, and then how much of the lavender essential oil. Know if your essential oil is concentrated with no carrier oil, so that's your label that you use. Store in a cool, dry place. The shelf life is as good as your carrier oil. I actually use fractionated coconut oil because that does not spoil. I used to use jojoba oil a lot way back when, but again, if you've got your essential oil mixed with the carrier oil, it can spoil. But fractionated coconut oil is good. I mean, I've got concoctions that I've made many years ago with that, and it's still good. Less is more, so just remember that. Again, dilution. Photosensitivity is in the blog, and know that the essential oils are lipophilic, they're fat-loving, and you'll see that they don't mix well with water. And if you see something that you're purchasing that says perfume or fragrance or potpourri, that's not really essential oil. So I could make a whole course on this, but these are just the fun facts. And if you get really savvy like me, you can take old containers and put just fragrance-free lotion in and mix things like, I use, and Amanda, of course, is a huge fan of magnesium oil because that helps for stress-related things and also cramping in the legs while you're pregnant or any time of your life. So you can create your own lotion and add essential oils and just kind of mix it with whatever device you want. But just know, storing it for a long period of time, I recommend, and it is recommended, to store in glass because after a while, plastic will break down. So I know that was like a crash course on everything, but think lavender is your friend, very safe during pregnancy, and it makes you feel relaxed as well. And maybe you can take that into the labor room with you too. But anyway, that's the crash course. I love essential oils, and please email me if you have any questions. And with that SAS Life blog, I also have the books that I recommend. So that's it.
Thank you.